folks, and welcome to another episode of The Art of Engineering. Haven't had a lot of time to do radio stuff, been very busy at work. Today I'm going to do a little bit of work on my QMX Plus from QRP LABS. We're going to pimp it up. Now, this is a great rig, but one of the things that it's lacking, or one of the things that I would like to see on it, is a speaker. Now, of course, we can use an external speaker with it, but there's a huge amount of room inside this case, or what I believe to be a huge amount of room. We'll see what happens after I do these modifications. So what I'm wanting to do is place a speaker inside and its own amplifier, so it will be standalone in that respect. Now, I could have maybe put some battery packs in here and made the battery part of the radio, but batteries come and they go, and I think that it's a better option to put some sound in this rig. Now, for those of you that don't know about the QMX Plus from QRP LABS, you can buy this as a kit, or if you want to go on the waiting list, and I understand it's quite a long waiting list, you can get it assembled. Now, I'll put the price below on the screen. It is very affordable, and if you look at the front of this device here, you've got mic and paddle input. Now, that is because in upcoming firmware, we are going to have, fingers crossed, single sideband operation from this rig as well. So it does data modes, it does CW, and shortly, hopefully, it'll do SSB as well. And I believe that that will happen. Hans will make it happen because the man is an absolute genius. I'm a total fan of QRP LABS, and you will be too if you start building their kits, because they're absolutely marvelous. So this is the cheats way of getting myself an amplifier. It's a 12-volt amplifier. This kit is available from JCar, which is a retailer in Australia. Short circuits kits, I don't know if you can get them online. You might want to have a look. But this is really a simple way of getting myself an amplifier. Now, I did use this amplifier in my AOE Monster transceiver, and it seems to work well. And it's very simple to build as well. Now, that is the size of the circuit board. So I'm going to quickly grab the case of the QMX and just see how this is going to fit in. I do have some metal standoffs I can use as well. I have to work out whether I want to put the actual amplifier chip on the actual case rather than mounting it on its own heatsink. I think if I mount it on the case, I'm going to have a lot more heat sinking happening, and it might be a better way of building this kit. So let's grab the case and have a look at how much space we have. We might make it that way. That would be awesome. Now we can undo these screws here, and the top cover comes off. Then we're going to need to be able to access the earphone port and the 12 volts. And I'm hoping, the plan is to try and make sure that when you plug your headphones in, it disconnects the input to the amplifier. And I am going to use the switch that's available too, because if this thing is draining the battery quickly, for the sake of videos or easy listening, I will leave it on. But when I'm not using it, I want to be able to completely isolate it. That is the plan. So let's get this lid off, just to show you how much space we actually have inside this kit. So that is the inside of the box. So we can probably mount everything on the lid, fingers crossed. Then we need to play around with getting our input and whatnot, but I don't think it's going to be that difficult. We do have all the things we need on top of the board here, I'm pretty sure, so we should be fine. It's just going to be a little bit of detective work, and let's just see if this, yeah, unfortunately not going to fit into the case. Now, it is a single layer board as far as I can tell, so I may be able to trim it. Time to do some sketchy stuff. Doo-dah, doo-dah. I'm going to try and trim this board with a nibbler and see if we can file off the ends once we get some of this board away. And the plan is to try and get it into the case. Components facing down, and I'll probably put the amplifier on the other side. So a little bit of a weird installation, but I think it'll work. And I'm not afraid of failure, because I've decided to make failure my friend. Now, I could approach my workflow with a little bit more care and professionalism, but I'm doing this purely for fun. And the kit itself wasn't terribly expensive, so if it's a complete and utter disaster, I will go to, also have the there's a board that sits on top of this for prototyping. So originally I was thinking about doing a discrete component amplifier. That would have been a fun little exploration into a completely home-rolled amplifier. I decided that I've got so many other things that I'm excited about. I thought this would be the most economical way of getting it done, especially economy of time. I just thought, we'll do it that way. And like I said, the board is single layer, so you would never do this with a multi-layer board, because there's a good chance that you would short circuit tracks. Check it out. It fits in. Now we'll need to think about trying to get ourselves a speaker that's small enough to fit in here without interfering with the front panel. So we're going to have to work out where our input to our amp is going to come from. I can tap off the top of these connectors on the other side of this circuit board up in here. That is the plan. Junked stereo system, and in the past I've used these speakers to repair stereo amplifiers, but the plan is to get these two speakers out and have a look at what they look like and whether we can utilize them in this dastardly plan. This is to mount the amplifier IC on the case, so it's got a heat sink. We're going to put the speaker switch on the back panel. Plenty of space there, hopefully. Okay, a bit of a progress report. We have mounted our amplifier in the lid of our QMX, and it's heat sinked to the lid. So the IC was a perfect thickness to slide it into the tracks that are already in the lid. So that was very fortuitous. And like you saw, we've ripped some speakers out. One of them's just massive. I'll just swing this around so you can have a look at it. This speaker here I may find use for it at some point in time, but way too heavy and way too large to put into a portable unit. But we've got a tweeter now. I know, obviously being a tweeter, it's for the high end of audio and it's going to have its best response at 2 kilohertz to, upwards of 20 kilohertz. So not ideal for something that's supposed to be receiving more, so it's 700 hertz. What I'm hoping is it'll cope with 10 to 12 watts, which is what I think we're going to be pumping into at maximum. So look, I'm going to put it in and see how it goes. I like to try and use what I've got. If it doesn't work, I'm going to have to get online and do some shopping. We shall see. Oh, and almost forgot to mention, back of the unit, we have our switch for switching the amplifier on and off. Now, there is an LED on the board. I could have ran that to the outside, but really, I don't need to do that. It's just added holes and added ingress and stuff I don't want to get in there. So this is for the amplifier. And I've checked to make sure it all fits, and it seems to. So we'll get it all wired up and give it a run. And we are all wired up. Speaker, amplifier. It's all ready to go. Praying we don't make any smoke. I'm going to get it over on the counter because I've only got I've got 12 volts set up there, exactly 12 volts. If I plug it in here, we're risking with 13.8 volts. Or I have to move the cable. So we're going to take it over there and get it into an antenna and just see if it works. It appears that we have some motorboating happening, and so I'm going to try and do some supply decoupling, see if we can sort this out. So nothing ever works out as planned. We still have what sounds like some feedback, some motorboating, something's going on with this amplifier. So even after decoupling the supply. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to consult the Oracle Drew Diamond, and we are going to look at that reflection on the front facing camera. Kind of like the effect, it's very ghost-like. We're going to consult the Oracle and look for a value of capacitor that we might be able to use on the input to the audio amplifier. I am not very scientific, as you've probably seen in my process, and I'm very organic, and any mathematics I try to avoid. So quite often finding component values in known designs that work is probably a good way to go. So I normally consult the radio projects for the amateur, and if you really want to improve your book collection and have some great homebrewing books, Drew Diamond's designs, and I've said it in other videos, fantastic thing to own. I have all the volumes and I've built a number of his designs. The whole station is running on his Mises supply. Even though he didn't say to use microwave transformers with it, he did talk about rewinding microwave transformers and how to get around the high magnetizing current, all that good stuff. So I owe a huge debt to Mr. Diamond. I salute you. So I'll consult the Oracle and find out a value for an input capacitor. And I think it might be overdriving the amp. I'm not sure, but we'll have a crack at trying to get this to work. And I mean, that's the fun of it, isn't it? You don't want it to work straight away. Well, you do actually, but sometimes it's fun to struggle a little bit. I hope it's not too much of a struggle. My caramba, we actually managed to smoke this tweeter completely. I'm talking like bucket loads of smoke coming out the top of it, and as expected, sound was lousy. So, plan B. Headed off to my mate Chris's place. He said that he would have some speakers, and gave me a whole bucket load of really fun stuff. I'll show you. Hey, everyone likes to show and tell. Some really nice little white knobs that I can use on homebrew gear. Some of these slug-tuned transformers. That he gave me a couple of different types of those that he's picked up on Alibaba Express. And of course some speakers. Now, he gave me this little quarter watt, which is very similar to the one I've already got. What he also gave me, which is looking like it's going to be very promising, is this little speaker here, which form factor wise will fit perfectly. So I'm going to try that one. It doesn't have a wattage rating on it. And I'm also going to try this one, which is beautiful and small, but a 2-watt speaker. So we're going to try both of those and do a bit of a sound test and decide which one is going to live, hopefully permanently, in the QMX Plus. The bands are completely dead and I am an impatient person, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up the Nano VNA with a small external antenna on a CW frequency, and we will use that to determine the best speaker. So this is the standard 1/4 watt speaker. And this is the miniature 2 watt speaker, which I've got to say sounds pretty good. Got to say, that is absolutely kick-ass. And finally, the rectangular speaker, which is also sounding very promising. And I would say, I think the winner is this little rectangular one. We're going to save this little one here. This is probably on a par, if not better, but this is just so purpose-built for a really small QRP transceiver. So I'm going to hold that over for a much better use. And yeah, this is going to be the heart of something really micro SOTA type rig. When my expertise gets to the point where I can actually build small. Yeah, that was a VK4 DRK. I'm happy with that. Okay, pardon the hand-carried filming. It will not happen for long. I just wanted to show you some of the modifications I did to this circuit, which is the amplifier circuit. We did some supply decoupling. That's a 220 microfarad capacitor across the supply, plus to minus. And I also put in a, I think it's a 100 nanofarad capacitor as well, just to do a bit of supply decoupling. And across the actual input, which was giving me better feedback, I just put a 10 microfarad. That seems to have cured all of those issues. Now I'll just flip this over and I'll show you where I've tapped for the 12 volts from the QMX and also the audio. Just give me a moment. And this is where I've tapped the audio. So if this is the board, they're the two that I've tapped onto for the audio. And for what it's worth, this one is the one that goes to the earth on the actual amplifier. As for the power, I've tapped the back of the connector for the 12 volts, and on the side you have an earth, and I've just snuck it in there, and there are all the connections. And pardon the filming. Thank you. So as you can hear there, the speaker is working, and all the people that and that's a US station. And yes, I know I need to center punch my holes before I drill them. It looks like Fred Flintstone drilled those holes. But, you know, I will live and learn one day. But I'm very happy with the speaker and the amplifier. And, you know, if I plug in headphones, it hopefully and I can turn off at the back here. The headphones are working beautifully. So there you have it, folks. I will show you the back as well. I'll just get the antenna off. So that is the back of the rig with the switch for switching the amplifier on and off. Those two screws are where the heatsink holds to the case, and of course the speaker holes, and the two are holding the speaker. I would have put 4 in for the speaker, but I couldn't find 4. And yeah, that's the QMX Plus with a speaker. I think I'm ready for SSB if I want to listen on the speaker, and also if I'm doing an activation and the signal's nice and strong, even if it's not strong, it's a really nice and loud speaker. So that is my modification of my QMX Plus, and I'm sure people have done it better than that, no doubt. But that is my take on it, and hope you enjoyed the video. Well, thank you for sticking around right to the end of the video. I'm terribly sorry if the quality and the content of these videos has slipped a little bit. I am really busy at work and having to do all that good stuff as well. Be a productive member of society. Although, how could you be more productive than making bodgy ham videos? 7-3. And I shall see you in the next episode of The Art of Engineering.